Hi, I'm Andy Naisbitt from Gen 3 Kinematics. I'm the Business Development Manager. We started Gen 3 in early 2010 alongside a company called MyEquip, who are based out of Sydney University in Australia. MyEquip is owned by a man called Bruce Ross, who has designed and invented unique pieces of gym equipment. The equipment that we do is fundamentally innovative. What we try and do is adhere to our principle of innovation rather than imitation. The equipment that we provide isn't generally stuff that you'll have seen before, and we're always focusing on areas of the market where research is either non-existent or there's very little amounts. MyEquip equipment is designed to do heavy strength training but with a highly reduced risk of injury. It does that by putting the body into a very safe position whereby there is no adverse loading going through the spine, hips or knees. Each machine that we design incorporates the unique BBC technology, or broad biomechanical correspondence. BBC technology is designed as a compensation mechanism for biomechanical disadvantage. So what it provides is variable resistance, whereby the effective load is automatically reduced as the joints are flexed and increased as they extend. The MyTruck and MyThruster use BBC technology to provide increasing resistance throughout the exercise movement. This enables the exerciser to operate comfortably and effectively in the region of biomechanical disadvantage. This also exposes them to substantial effective loading and high-range muscle fibre recruitment throughout the whole range of movement. There are 3 different pin settings that we use for BBC technology: low range, mid range and high range. In low range pin settings, the increase in effective load from start to finish of the movement is greatly increased. These are ideal for practicing explosive or ballistic movements. In the mid-range pin settings, the effective load is designed to match the body's capacity to handle resistance from the start of the movement to the finish. What this means is that the exerciser has to expand basically the same amount of effort throughout the movement. High-range pin settings is where the increase in effective load from start to finish of the exercise movement is greatly reduced. These pin settings are useful on the MyTruck and MyThruster when being used to improve performance in the barbell squat, because the additional loading at the start of the movement conditions the leg extensors to operate more effectively in the region of greatest biomechanical disadvantage, or in the deep squat position. Our focus at Gen 3 is to supply the strength and conditioning coaches with everything that they require from our equipment. We always want to work alongside the coaches to enable them to get the best out of our equipment that we can possibly provide. One of the main aspects that the MyEquip equipment has is the role that it can play in the rehab of some players. With sports such as rugby or rowing, a lot of athletes are susceptible to major injuries in the lower back as such, which can prevent them from doing heavy leg work in the gym. The MyTruck and MyThruster are designed to enable athletes who are injured to do their heavy leg strength work without the risk of inflaming any pre-existing injuries.
My name is Phil Bourguignon. I'm the Chief Coach of London Rowing Club. I've been using Gen 3 equipment for the last 6 years, starting off in Sydney at Sydney University. The equipment plays quite a large role in what we do. The 2 pieces of equipment we use is the MyTruck and the MyThruster. Both pieces of equipment are vital with the movement range and the type of movement that we use in our sport. We would use these pieces of equipment 2 to 3 times a week as part of our normal weights and strength and conditioning routine.
My name is Stuart Pickering. I'm Head of Strength and Conditioning at Worcester Warriors. We invested in the Gen 3 MyThruster and MyTruck in the pre-season of 2012. Since then it's become an integral part of our strength training programme. The thruster we use primarily with our injured players, or players that have axial loading issues, so any players that have lumbar spine, recurrent lumbar spine issues, hip issues or shoulder issues. The truck forms a big part of the forwards training programme in particular, mainly because of the specificity of the movement in relation to their tasks on the field, particularly scrum, maul and breakdown.
My name is Paddy Anson. I'm Head of Strength and Conditioning with Gloucester Rugby. MyTruck is an excellent tool for us. We'll put the bands on it so we can get some banded resistance. So you've got the banded force at the lower end. It makes it all a dynamic movement. We can do some power work on it, and we can do some heavy loading strength-wise with it. So if you've got a person who struggles to squat, anywhere above 120, 130 kilograms, then we can keep them on a reasonable squatting program, but then increase their loading on the MyTruck. So they can be loading anywhere between 250 and 350 on the MyTruck, and they don't seem to have any problems with that or issues with their back.
At the moment we have a lot of equipment in the pipeline currently that we'll be bringing out and launching in the next couple of years that we hope can be used by any athlete from normal conventional gyms up to the elite level.